The wonderful flavors of hot pot in Singapore. Sitting on the Marina Bay in Ocean. Oh. Or mole negro from Rancho Aurora in Oaxaca, Mexico. It just smells so delicious. And there was a little restaurant in Italy on the Arno River where you could see the Ponte Vecchio while you were eating your steaming risotto. I'll never forget that place. Have I actually been to these places? No. But I feel like I have from the one thing they all have in common. Garlic. We will go and discover the world of garlic and how it's used in cuisines from all over the world. It's been known as the mysterious bud, which is most definitely. Garlic is typically used to season dishes, though the bulb can be the main focus. Now, garlic comes in many different shapes and sizes. We have some salts, we have powders, we have the individual cloves, and of course we have the whole bulb. Now, all forms are not created equal. In fact, you can even make your own garlic salt from fresh garlic. Personally, I prefer the fresh garlic. Now, garlic can be prepared in many different ways depending on the culture. For example, it's common in Southeast Asian culture to pick the garlic before it's fully developed. So, you won't see these bulbs, it'll look a little bit more like a scallion. And it's something called green garlic. And you know why? You guessed it, it's green. The reason they pick it so early is so that it's a little bit less pungent and a little bit more mild, unlike those stinky Italians that like their garlic nice and fresh. Remember that hot pot I was dreaming of earlier? That's a really common use for green garlic. So, how can we prepare it? Well, we've got a couple of different methods. We have your good old trusty chef's knife and the garlic press. Now, before we start talking about which one is better to use, let's take a little trip to the whiteboard. So, how do we know when we should be using one of these, a chef's knife, versus one of these, a garlic press? In order to understand that, we need to first look a little bit more at the cell structure. So, like any plant cell, garlic has a rigid cell wall. But the thing that we're concerned about is two specific chemicals. We have the amino acid, allan, and the enzyme, allanase. Now, these are typically separated within the cell. However, when you crush the cell up, you are now letting these two things react to create a new chemical compound called allicin. So, it's smelly because right there you have a sulfoxide group which has sulfur in it. That rotten egg smell, that's being released by garlic. Now, this is in the cell mainly for defense mechanisms, but we get the added benefit that as humans, it tastes nice, but it's a bit smelly. That's why we've got all the red lines there. So, when would you want to use this versus one of these guys? So, this does a much more thorough job at breaking up the cell. So when you use a garlic press, you get a much more pungent and strong flavor. Because of that, most chefs prefer this guy. It gives it a subtle flavor and it doesn't draw away too much from the main dish, and it's not overpowering. One of my favorite ways to prepare garlic is incredibly simple. All you need is one of these, some bread. I prefer a nice French baguette, but right now we've got some plain old wheat bread. We'll use a little bit of olive oil, and then of course we will need a bit of foil. Now, you'll simply cut off the top of the clove, rub some olive oil on it, and then put it in your foil. You will then set your oven to 400 degrees and let it bake for about 30 to 35 minutes or until it's a nice golden brown. At that point, pull it out of the oven, take out a fresh piece of bread, smear it right on top. It's absolutely delicious. You can even drizzle a little extra olive oil in if you're feeling dangerous. That's all we have for today. So we hope you enjoy your garlic and that you're always having